welcome to Spirits, Mediums, and Things That Go Bump in the Night. And today, along with my co-host, Tony, we have a very special person that's coming here to meet with all of you, and her name is Jeanie Hopkins.
Hi there.
And so, for all of you who have seen the prior shows, you'll all know that the people that we have on the show are people that I have worked with and that I see as being the tops in their field. And to me, Jeanie is one of those people. Her integrity is bar none. And as well as that, is she's also really, really funny and totally connected with spirit.
Thank you.
And so it's my honor to have you here on the show with us.
It's my honor to be here. Thank you so much. I do feel very honored that you asked me to do this, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And for those people that are really interested in meeting with Jeanie, at the end of the show, there'll be all the credits and things like that. So they'll be able to get in touch with you.
Great, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, Jeanie, if you would, just to let people know, what kind of medium are you?
I'm a spiritual medium. I connect with people who have crossed over to communicate and validate messages to you, to really have you understand of a knowing that you are not here by yourself, that they've never left you, they love you, they try to give you signs and guide you with every step that you need them. They're always there. So
That's a comfort.
yes,
That's
invite them when
definitely,
you
yeah.
need them, and that's how I set up. I say that we're having a date with Spirit. So please invite them at 4:30 or whatever time your session is with me, and that's how I work. I also do angel readings, and I do that with Diana Cooper. She is wonderful, and yep, it's been something that Spirit has directed me to work with the angels, and it really brings divine guidance at times and helps with clarity if somebody's having a problem with decision making or realizing something in their past that needs to be cleared up and move on so that your forward is in a good place, moving with purpose.
Okay.
Now, you know, in saying that, do you ever do it for yourself? I mean, when you're needing a question or whatever, like for instance, today.
Yes.
Okay, did you do it for today? Did you ask about
Yes,
today?
probably three different decks.
3 different
Today
decks?
was gonna go. They help me.
Oh.
You know, they direct and give me signs, and it's not just from the angels, it's from, you know, everything up there, and it's very comforting to me, and I hope that it always is for any of you that may have had a reading with anyone, with any medium.
But what was your concerns about the show today?
Just where it's my first time, different types of things, and I absolutely love Gloria. She has been my first one, and without Gloria, I would
Always
not.
remember your first.
Yes, you do. And she was my first, and she came into our lives when I so needed her. And
She has a way of doing that.
she does, and I can't wait for her book to be done. I've been waiting too.
Everybody's been waiting.
But, you know, she's very special to me, and she is somebody that changed the way I live every single day.
Wow.
That's a
But it is.
heavy load on me.
It's a wonderful thing, and for those of you who haven't met Gloria or had a reading with her, you really are missing out, because she really gave me a peace and comfort of a knowing, not a belief, not a faith.
But how did she do that?
I lost my brother-in-law. Tomorrow it will be 7 years.
Oh.
And we had a whole string. We had like 12 deaths in our family in a year and a half. And I used to be very fearful as a child and everything, missing my mom, thinking of her not being here on the physical plane. And I really missed my brother-in-law. And it was a big hit. That was like the one death besides Brent's mom, who had passed maybe
Brent
8
being
months
your
before.
husband.
Yes, Brent
And
being my husband.
he's here in the
He's
audience.
over here. That really was devastating, those 2 deaths in our life. And Brent's mom, who had passed, used to see Gloria. So she's actually, I think once she crossed over to the spirit world, really helped and combined and knew how to bring Gloria to us. And so really, what happened in that moment was I was in a lot of pain, missing him, and not understanding. And she came in with truths. Just, I could feel the truth. Everything that she said was common sense to me. And it resonated with me. But when it came my time for my minutes with Gloria, and she turned around and looked at me, and very simply she said, the common question, like how many of you ask, do they know how much I love them? And that was my question to her, and it probably took me 5 minutes because I couldn't even breathe talking to her. I was crying so hard. But the difference is that when you feel that, you feel their energy. And I talk about that a lot because that is what we are. And they cross over with that same physical energy of who we are. And in that moment, when she looked at me, his total personality, his total words came out, and she looked at me. Instead of you thinking that you hear the typical comment, yes, they know they love you, and all of the regular things, she looked at me and she said, tell me again. I could see his little grin and feel his giggle and everything, because he used to try to make me laugh all the time.
Wow.
And he did that in that moment, and I went right back to feeling him, and doing that changed moment.
Wow.
Absolutely everything. So I probably invited Gloria back 30 times and had circles after that, where I tried to shout it from the rooftops that this was real.
Yeah.
Your loved ones are always with you. And so she's been to my house many times
You
and
have a room
did
for
circles.
her now, don't you?
Actually,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And so without her giving me that, she gave me that passion and the pain combined, that I wanted everyone to know that this is real and you don't have to go through life with that pain. It's not an ending. And that was huge to me.
Well, you
Thank
just
you.
learn another way to go and communicate,
Absolutely.
which a lot of people do not do. They don't know they can do it, right?
Right.
Right.
But everybody can. You know, everybody should use their gut and have
these
that.
women.
It's absolutely something you can do. How many of you go into a room and you feel, I don't think I want to stay here very long. I think I'll be here 5
yeah.
minutes and out the door you want to go. And then other times you will walk in and say, this is going to be a good night.
I've been there before. I'm sure you have too.
Yes, yes.
You know, but you use that intuition that you have. So it may not be that you feel your loved ones all the time or whatever, but take what you feel, take what resonates with you. And when you sit quietly, you can grow on that.
Well, you know, talking about that energy, I have a dear friend of mine. He lives in California. He comes to visit. We have a friend in common. I mean, we've been friends with this friend for 30 years.
Nice.
I had a falling out with this friend.
Okay.
I know he has gone to college with him, whatever, but we're all very close, he and I and his partner, Pat.
Yeah.
When he came to visit me, something was, I looked at him and I went,
Something's a little off.
he's in touch with John, my arch enemy.
But he wasn't going against you.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, they're all still alive. Nobody's dead here.
No, right. I know.
Okay, and and I'm looking at Jimmy and I'm going, you're in touch with John, aren't you? No, I'm not. I said, I don't care. Don't lie to me. I'm not lying to you. I said, but you are. And I, to this day, know he's lying to me because I feel that energy.
But even if he does, he's not doing it because he doesn't love you as a friend.
No, absolutely not.
Yes, and so if he is connecting him, that's a sole purpose that he's searching out for because something's unsettled with him. He needs closure.
Yes, that's
Okay?
very true, yeah.
And so we need to let him go on his path and figure out what that is and stay connected and give him the love and support that he needs for that closure.
But why lie to me?
Because he loves you.
Oh, jeez, don't
Okay?
love me.
It's just the opposite of what you're thinking. He's doing it because he cares about you and he doesn't want to hurt you. And that's simply what it is. So he's guarding you and protecting your relationship with him.
Darn.
You know what's so crazy?
nice.
You know what's so crazy about that is we're all intuitive. Okay, so when these people lie to us, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to protect you," and you know, because in your heart of hearts, you're going, "That jerk just lied to me,"
Right.
and they
But
will
it's-
look at you right in the eyeball.
He did.
And it's like, and so what I've learned to say is, "I'm very good at what I do," and then they go,
But you know what? It's okay. Those are things he's not hurting you out of. Do you know what I mean?
"Deception." He's not
Absolutely.
hurting her out of
Absolutely.
Right, he's
deception.
not feeling that. He's trying out of love, and that's different.
Yeah.
And the way that I communicate to everybody that comes to me, that when you make a choice or a situation like this, no matter what it is, does not matter what it is, if you do it out of love, it will never be wrong. Even though this is something that may sit on your shoulder and it makes you think about other things, don't take that away from him. Don't take that away from him. He hasn't lied to you about all these other things, and that's where you're going with it. So just reel it back in, have an acceptance for him, and continue to love him for the friendship that you've always had.
You're absolutely right. No,
You know?
that's true.
So just
Yeah. I didn't look at it in those terms, but you're right. See, I'm getting a hot flash just talking about it.
because
Boy.
that's confirmation. I get goddess bumps.
Goddess bumps?
That's what I call them.
Goddess bumps.
Yep,
I love
had
that.
heard that in a class, and I absolutely love it. I love the goddesses and things like that. And so instead of goosebumps, I call them goddess bumps.
Oh, that's good.
So it's a
we'll
good
have
feeling.
to use that
Oh,
one.
we'll have to use
oh,
that
most
one.
definitely.
Yes, power,
Power, power.
power in the
Totally
goddesses.
all about power.
So that's confirmation for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you love him just the same.
Oh, of course I
so,
do, yeah.
So let this go.
Yeah. Okay.
He's doing it for you, not against you.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where did we go? How did we get to this?
I don't know, but energy. It was
Energy.
energy. I was picking that up.
Right. That was
Yeah.
her intuitive
Oh yes,
skills.
that you
Right.
can feel.
I can
Yes.
feel
You
he's
can-
lying
yes,
to
you
me.
can say-
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Right.
You can tell when somebody walks into a room, and if their energy is not of, let's say, a higher. Higher. I hate using that
It's
word.
not a
higher
good
because,
feeling.
Right,
It's not a
good
positive,
feeling.
good
right.
feeling.
Okay, you can pick it up. It's an automatic thing.
And what should you say? Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I find it so I find this to be a feeling of feeling so blessed that I know this little piece and that I have this understanding. And that's why I want to do the work that I do, is to share this and change how people view things. So exactly like what you just told me, that's what comes into my room. It's bringing clarity. And that's why that just came up, is because you held that deck and said, this is what we're talking about. And this is how I do my work. This is exactly how they connect with me and tell. And everything is in your view. And the piece of whatever the situation is that you're missing, that's what they zone in on.
How did you become a medium? I mean,
Gloria started this passion and all of this stuff, and the knowing, like I said, she just knows it, she feels it, she passes it on, and I watched people just, the transformation right in front of your eyes.
oh yeah.
And so as I worked with her, my little sponge, taking everything in from her, it grew and grew. And then she looked at me one day and she said, yeah, she said, why I had her to my house was 30 times was I wanted everybody to know this, but I couldn't do it.
Right.
So when she came, she looked at me one day, and my sisters were all there, and she said, yeah, she says, don't you know? She says, everybody comes up to you and tells you these things, and they talk to you, and they feel better when they leave you. And I'm like, my sister's like, yes, for a long time, that's exactly what happens. And all of my family comes to me with different things, my nieces, and just, little matters of the heart, if you will, and different things. And I'm like, yes, that is. And so for me, it's been a knowing, always. I always took it as black and white.
Yeah.
and that my emotions weren't involved, so I could see things clearer than
Yeah,
others.
absolutely. I
So
understand.
that's how I always thought. So I never knew about a connection to spirit or anything. And so after she did that, I made that connection, had that understanding. I searched, and thank God, Reverend Patty Palmer, thank you, Patty, started a development group. And I've been in that development group for 3 years with wonderful people in the classes, and I've learned so, so much. And then I had a really good friend, Melissa Borden, that really pushed me and said, you can do this, it's your timing. And she was in my development group as well and did wonderful things out in my room. We just worked together, and you know, she has an excellent connection to spirit, and gave me the drive and told me that there's angels around me and I'm supposed to be working with them. And then Gloria came and gave me the deck, and synchronistic things just came into place. And now I've seen over 150 people that I've done readings on.
Wow.
And I've only opened my room up to strangers since last March. So spirit works.
Wow.
And they bring me who I need to see. That's how I feel. So
It's always divine right timing.
it is, absolutely.
Your husband handles as well, and
He does, and he's, you know, totally into it too. And he's watched me transform. You know,
well, yeah,
I'm
sure.
I'm a very different person than who I used to be, because I think of this way all the time. And it's like if you ever felt something super heavy on your shoulders, it's gone. Everything that happens is for a reason. Absolutely everything.
Okay.
Didn't I read for Brent before I even met you?
Yes.
That's what's so funny about
Wow.
it. Yeah.
I couldn't come. It was
it
Jane
was
and them's anniversary.
It was whose?
It was Jane and Debbie's anniversary, my
okay.
two sisters. And I'm like, I can come anytime, because his family set it up. And I'm like, I can come anytime. It was their 25th anniversary, and they had a huge party, so I couldn't go. So he went, came back, and was floating. Like, he just came back from that reading and was just, because that was our first knowing of feeling that it was real. And I used to watch John Edwards, because that's who, you know, who was on, and I thank all of them, Long Island Medium, all of them. I paved the way for us to be able to do our work easier, I believe. Long Island Medium has certainly helped with my kids at school, with people having an understanding and not like, your mother is, you know, it's like, oh, wow, your mom's a medium? How awesome, you know? So it's worked out great for my kids that way. So it's really helped, you know. So spirit's a wonderful thing, and everybody should use it as a tool in their life. You know, it's really changed mine, and she was my door.
You and that door, girl.
I know, it never shuts.
It never shuts.
That's not a bad thing. She's got a lot of people to see, a lot of lives to change, so.
You know what's so neat, though, about this? We were laughing and joking about it, but we're in the business that will never end.
No.
You know, and there's more than enough work out there for
everybody.
For all mediums, right?
Absolutely.
You know? Do you notice, though, that there are mediums out there? It's like they closely guard their secrets, you know, about how they can do. And it's what is this? Because this, I look at this as, this is a privilege of service.
Absolutely.
That in being of service to the soul coming in and being of service to the client that's sitting in front of you, you have an obligation to be as clear a channel as you can possibly be. So when you have somebody that's coming in with ego issues, you know, I'm the only one that can do this, that's baloney.
It is.
It's total baloney.
But, you know,
and you are not that. If anything, you are one of the most humble people that I have ever met, and you've got more talent in one little finger than a lot of the people out there that charge $400 an hour.
Well, thank you for that. But I really feel, like I said, that I am so blessed, and it is not me. It is spirit that gives me the message, and I can only give you what they give me. But in what I've witnessed, especially in this past year, because really once I opened up to strangers, that's when I really knew.
That gave you the
what I had.
The aha moment. See, the aha moment.
Yes, light bulb. That's what I call it. when the light bulbs went off, like, oh my God, and I'd come back into the house to Brent, and you know, I never said people's names or anything, but I was amazed at what was taking place in my room. You know, I watched her, and she makes it look so easy, you know, and just a snap of the fingers, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and there it is. And, you know, for me, I didn't know how it was going to be, but I will tell you, for anybody that wants to connect out there, they'll have a plan for you. They, you know, mine, I literally, even in my development classes, Patty's always saying, I wanted it like yesterday. Bring me whatever I need to help whoever I need. Just bring it to me. I don't ask a lot of questions. It doesn't matter how it works, how it comes to me. Just give it to me. There's people like at my door. I feel like I'm supposed to be reaching all these people, and I just need the tools to do it. So that's how it's worked for me, and it's a completely different plan. Like I said, when these angels come in, I have lots and lots of angel card readings because everybody has a crisis at some point in their life, and something, whether it be from their past, different types of things come up, which I'm actually teaching a class right now. I have a great group of people, and I'm teaching a class called Past, Present, and Forward, and it's about releasing and forgiving something really big that you think that's happened in your life, and then moving into the present, because to be in the present time, you can't have those cords and those strings attached because it always brings you back. So we're learning how to cut those cords, tie them up in a bow, and let them go, and live in the present moment so that you move forward with purpose.
Would you tell the audience about cords?
Cords are something from your past that are usually of a negative experience, something that holds you back, that you keep going back to. It's literally changed how you live your life and walk every day, because it's something you can go along and you can be having the most wonderful day and you're feeling positive and you're uplifted and all of this, and then all of a sudden there's a name mentioned or a smell or a date on the calendar, and you look and you think, oh, you go right back and you're feeling low again. And then all of a sudden you don't know why. You have no idea why you just went from this level down to this level. And it's not in a conscious mind sometimes. It's tucked back here. We tuck it away so we don't have to deal with it. But anything, if you face it, it is put on your plate absolutely for a reason and a lesson to strengthen you and give you power. So forgiveness is a very hard word, and acceptance is a hard word of how we go through life. But you do this for yourself. It is for you. It is not for someone else. So if you do this, you will truly have the freedom in your life. So for me, you take your power back. You say, I am forgiving this. Nothing, no matter how dark was given to you in your lifetime, was made for you to stay in the dark. You are to find the light in it and keep moving. So once you're in that past moment, you face it, you deal with it, and you cut those cords and you let it go. And you say, you don't get one more moment of my time. You don't get to come into my thoughts anymore. You don't get to mess with my feelings and emotions anymore. I am done with this. And then you let it go. And then you live in your present moment and you focus so that you have all your senses and your intuition and all of those things are balanced, because when we have emotion, right? Balance to me is head, heart, and your gut. So if this is all jumbled, it's not a straight line anymore. So people feel out of balance. But when you can check your emotions, and I believe everybody can do that. I know it sounds difficult, and a lot of people don't think that they can control their emotions, but you can. It's a choice. Everything is a choice. Everything is how you view it, and you can do it.
Most
you just have to
definitely.
say it. And when you say it, be serious. Say, my time's here. I'm all done with that. Mm-hmm. No matter what it is, even if you have to face that person on a weekly basis or something. You know, some people have family members that it's difficult. It's not like you can just walk away. You know, they're still there, mm-hmm. which to me is even more empowering. That you can face something that maybe brought you some grief, but come in. And that's the same thing. Again, if you face everything with love, so say there's a negative person around you and you're not, you know, feeling this closeness
I'm
that
not feeling
you
it.
want. That's the room you want to run out of instead of stay in and have fun. You know, don't do that. Send them love. There's a reason. I know. And if you do that though, honestly, if you take something that's bothering you, or somebody, I tell people, pretend you can come up here and look at the situation like you're not in it. If you come up here and view everything, you look at it and you say, geez, why did that person do that? You can see why that person did that. It could be something from their past that they're hanging on to that completely came into their present moment, like we just was talking about. And you can see that brings acceptance. Then you have a reason, you have something, and then you have compassion. Because you have an understanding as to why this person may have done this to you or created a circumstance, then the forgiveness is much easier.
You know what I tell people about the forgiveness angle?
What?
Flip it around. You're giving up your need for rage
Absolutely.
for something greater.
Yes.
I give it up for
Love.
love.
Mm-hmm.
New life, new beginning, without the burden of what's taken place in the past.
No.
To to make choices for you. Like if somebody broke your heart, the last thing that you want to do is get stuck into another relationship because I don't want to be hurt that way anymore.
Right.
So in giving it up, if that person was mean, ugly, and whatever, it's all about them.
Right.
It's not because you deserved that.
Absolutely not.
But
What happens in that is people create a pattern, right?
right.
And if they actually dealt with, like what I was saying about your past, when something happens, instead of to tuck it away, if you really view it and take care of it, you'll find out, where was I in my life? What kind of person was I that I was attracting this type of person to me? Where was I at to understand that I thought that person could come into my life like this and do this to me? Where was my strength? There's all kinds of questions. But if you change them and figure that out at that time, that relationship is nothing but a red flag. And you'll know the next mister that comes up and you say, oh no, hi and goodbye in the first 5 minutes,
yes.
right?
Been there, done that.
And do you find that with relationships? I had this a lot in my room, and you know, a lot of times people do not put details into what they're asking for. Most people just wait for somebody to walk by, come through, and you know, just come and sit right with you, and like it's just going to fall in your lap. You know, it's not how it works. You have to be specific in what you want in your life, and who you are as a person, you need to feel that you are that person that's capable of being with the person that you're asking for. So sometimes there's some changes and feelings that you have to do for yourself in order to become that person. So
I had a client one time that said, you know, I told her to make the list, make your wish list. And she came back maybe 6-7 months later. She says, oh, you know, I met the guy. And she says, on my wish list was that he would have a lot of money. Well, she said, he does have a lot of money because he's so cheap, he keeps it all. I said, well,
that's where the details come in.
Exactly. You know,
Who would have thought?
Yeah, put in there that, okay, he may have a lot of money, but
Right.
that he is generous, not to a fault, but
Right.
generous,
Right.
you know, to me or
Yes.
whatever.
And that's where the list comes in with the details. And, you know, I tell a lot of people that, you know, you have to be ready for this relationship of what you're asking for. You know, like attracts like, right? We know that. Like attracts like. So when you put that out there and you put this vibration out, that's who's going to be drawn to you. When you're down here and you're still stuck in that old relationship and thinking, what do I want? And you're not sure, guess what? Here comes another red flag.
But
Warning,
you
warning.
always want to do is always want to say, I ask for this in divine right timing.
That's right.
And I always add the little kudo on it, this or better.
Right.
Because sometimes I don't really know.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know what I want. All I know is that I know that they're going to know better than
They
I
do.
do what it is that I need.
That's correct. But you know what else I tell people when you say that?
What's that?
Not everybody knows what they want, right? Because we grow and we change, and that changes. But the one thing that we know from our past is what we don't want. And that's just as important, right? Because we need to see that coming again. That's our red flag. So that's how you have to view it. Is, yes, I've learned, yes, I've taken from this, and I'm good. Now, what do I really want? Focus on what you're asking for. Focus on that and put it out. And I always tell them there's 5 core things. Those don't change. Whether you want somebody with financial and it's not greed or anything that you're asking for, but you know, you're looking, say, retirement, where you want to go, what you want to do, it's important. So if that doesn't work, what are you creating? You're creating another imbalanced relationship to fall apart at some point, because that's maybe something that you worked very hard for, having that goal for yourself. So it's important to put your core things down that you know are going to impede on a relationship. How do you, feel about yourself, those physical things? Do you like somebody who is, has a lot of compassion for people? Those types of things. Those core values don't change. So if you don't have a person like that with those core things on your paper, it's not going to work.
Well, I really think both of you need to explain to the audience.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we've talked about the way you have kind of tapped in. We know how Gloria's tapped in. But for the person sitting at home and they're hearing our conversation and our past conversations,
Yep.
what advice, I mean, say they're having a hell of a time of their life right now and things are hard and they just are so clouded with negativity, how can they pull...
Clear it and come above?
Yeah. Tell them that. They need to know that.
The first thing that I ask for, and Gloria taught me this, one of the big angels that I work with is Archangel Michael. I always invite him to come in, and he's a protector. He can be in all places all at one time. So you're not asking for him to come away from a situation you think that somebody needs him a whole lot more than you do, which is a nice feeling, But I always ask for him first for protection for anything, because I think that when you ask for divine guidance and different things, it's just good to ask him to come first. And then I even ask, and I tell people that I do readings with, ask for guidance. Even ask when you go to sleep and say, I'm not sure what I need at this moment, but please just take this negative feeling away from me. Help me see clearly and figure out what I need to do to get over this. And ask them to work with you in your sleep. And even though you may get up and you may not realize that something has taken place, it's been put in your subconscious. And when you need it, you will have it. And it will work that simply.
Should they now say they wake up in the morning and it's back here in the subconscious,
right?
And but I would always think that it would be the forefront thought coming through that they've never had before, and they're afraid of it.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we do. It's not our thoughts.
So that's what they should follow, is when
That's
they
right.
wake up and it's like they normally, I don't know, they normally get up and go to work. And they come right home after work. But today they're not going to go right home after work.
Right.
They're going to go over to some kind of a meeting or go for a walk.
Right. Oh, that's awesome to clear it. Outdoors in nature is one of the best grounding things to
But
help.
that would be the first thought when they got up in the morning.
Is to go for a walk.
That, or at the end of the day, because they're set into a pattern of survival.
Absolutely. Everybody goes in a pattern, and it's good to shake it up. And if you think about it, we're not here to stand still. We're here to move. Moving is growing, and that's what we're here to do. So when people get stuck in a rut, it's like you're on a treadmill and you're going and nothing seems to change, and that's why nature is so different. Even just, how many of you just go outside in the day and look and see a bluebird in a tree and really take a moment and look at the beauty in a bluebird? There's beauty all around us that's given to us, and most people go out, get in the car, go where they need to go or whatever, and they don't even notice the bird in the tree. It's placed there to lift you, to ground you, to feel that feeling. And it's really positive.
To keep you in that moment.
That's right. And another thing that I tell people who feel heavy or feel like they're in a negative situation or having even just a bad day, the best thing that you can do to pull yourself out of a funk is to do something positive for someone else. That fills your soul in a whole different place, that somebody needed something. So it can be as simple as you walking through the grocery store and somebody's coming up with a cart and they don't want to make eye contact with you. They're going everywhere, but they don't want to look at you. Mm-hmm. Look at them and smile. Can I help you with that? Anything. You've made their day different. And when you can do that for somebody else, it fills your soul and it replaces the negative with the positive. And you go about your day and you feel good. Your day's changed. So it's how you put into it. But what you do for other people is honestly, I believe, the biggest way that you can clear out negativity.
That's nice.
It's an action. Think of everybody that you meet. Everybody. Whether it's a negative, place that you know somebody or whether it's a positive. There's an exchange, right? We talked about energy, right? So all of us are made of energy. So I look at it. Whenever I meet someone, I look at it and I say, how do I want my energy there? How do I want to make an impression on this person? Doesn't matter what kind of a day I'm having. Somebody's having a worse day somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And if I'm having a bad day, that's when I smile a lot. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm trying to put a positive energy out there. So smile at people. Do things to change their day. Do things that way because nothing fills you greater than helping someone else.
Well, we just met today.
Yes.
I didn't even know you were coming today.
Oh, nice.
I would have made coffee. No. Oh. But when you and I met, it was the eye contact. It was the eye contact.
Good. Yep.
And saying that, okay, because I always like to show our audience how a new medium works. Could you do like a mini reading for both Tony and myself or whatever,
Okay. Well, I was going to start with you, like I said, to go with that because that was your friend, giving off that energy. And that's how a lot of times that it works for me is going in for what's needed at the moment, if you will. So, like I said, take that away and have that positive energy back to that person. Because even if he's connecting with somebody that made you negative, I almost feel, I'm sorry to say this, but maybe it might be good for you to contact that person.
Damn.
I know.
Damn, everybody's been saying that.
Okay, well then that's synchronistic.
Oh my God.
When you hear that 3 times, right, Gloria?
Almost
3 times
definitely.
the charm.
3 times.
Yes.
I've heard it 3 times.
Yes. Then it's time.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
Oy vey.
Because listen, you'll feel so much better doing that out of love. And you know what? They're not showing me exactly what the situation was, but they're telling me even if you say you're sorry, it's okay. And you're releasing something in that, okay? Because I'm feeling that that's where like a little bit of stubbornness maybe, and I really think if you viewed that, it's something very silly. That it wasn't as big as you think. The emotions made it big.
Oh, yeah.
But the actual event really wasn't. So if you could say I'm sorry, even if it's in a letter.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? If you have a hard time, to pick up the phone, but I think you will feel very empowered. And it's a part of your past.
Hot flash.
It's a part of your past that needs to be released and let go. And I feel that you really miss that person.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I know. You're thinking if they're watching, you're not going to admit to that right
Oh, they're
now.
not
But
around you.
I'm just saying, that there's a piece though. But do you understand that when we have an anger inside and something that we carry that way, it's really because we love them or it wouldn't bother us that much.
True.
Okay? So that's what Spirit's giving as a direct guidance. And I always say you can take it or leave it. It's just divine guidance. It's all in your choosing, okay? But I think it will give you your power back and make this go away, because this is something that comes into your present moment quite a bit.
I know.
You try not to think about it, but if something, it seems to always go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let it go. But you can do something to fix it. And when you do that, they're telling me, just so that you know, doesn't matter the outcome. Okay?
Okay.
You have to release that, whatever the vision is that you think is going to come back to you. Doesn't matter. Just do it. Okay? Because this forgiveness and this stuff is for you. What they do after that might be 5 years from now, that they grow into the process to be able to come back to you and say, I'm sorry, I really missed you too, and I don't even understand what that big understanding was all about.
I'm getting a hot flash.
Yeah, that's your confirmation. See? Goddess is working.
Goddess, damn, she's working.
But
You know the forgiveness angle when you were speaking? The forgiveness angle is you call that person into play with those issues,
Right.
even before you were born. And so the forgiveness part could be forgive yourself for having to have had that person in your life as your teacher. So you could just say, I'm sorry. You can say, I'm sorry in your head. I'm sorry because you had to come in as the biggest dirtball teacher I've ever had in my whole life. Then you can get over it. See?
and then you know what else you can do?
What?
Say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for teaching me this.
Oh, you
Thank you
ladies
for
are
giving
just
me this
asking
strength.
me
Now,
to
she's the saint. I'm the sinner.
Yeah, I do, though. I do my stuff out of love, and I do, all of what I do comes from that, because there is no wrong in it. You cannot go wrong by doing that, ever. No one will be mad at you because you love them too much. I'm sorry, but they won't. So
Okay.
that's what Spirit's, giving, and it really is a situation that tears at your heartstrings, and you've been hurt quite badly by it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it hurts. I know. So let it go, right? No more thinking, no more doing. Just say it. Get it out. And sometimes that opens the door for this person to communicate the same things that they feel have been hurt or missing in your relationship, because they miss you too.
Oh, I know they do.
Yes. So the stubbornness is just keeping you guys apart, and communication is very important in all relationships, whether it be a partner, a friend, family. Communication is top. How many times have you ever sat and thought, like when people send a text, you can't hear emotion, can you? And how many people have gotten up and said, wow,
Right.
that doesn't sound nice. Do you know what I mean? Like you're thinking.
Because it's the mood you're in.
Exactly. But if you hear that voice on the phone and they're saying it, you have an understanding of how they meant it. And when you don't communicate it, it grows. You think the worst things. And if you really ask the person, they say, what are you talking about? No, I never said that like that. Do you know what I mean? But this whole big thing escalated because you didn't have good communication.
It's like saying, like you and I always joke around.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at you and saying, you're such a dirtball.
I know.
As opposed to sending it to you and you are a dirtball.
Right, exactly.
But wouldn't you
But
rather?
you're not.
But,
I know.
But wouldn't you?
Mom likes you best.
Yeah.
She does.
Oh, that's not a bad
And
thing.
if my mother was still alive and she died yesterday, some years ago, she would have liked you better than me any day.
Do I have to do that? Do I have to do that?
So
if
there
you if you want to grow, then yes. But it's a choice.
Maybe I want to stay just the way I am.
And that's your choice. You absolutely can do it, but I hope not.
No, not either.
I know.
Seriously, though, it is something that really, it tugs at your heartstrings. It's a heavy feeling that I feel there for you, and
Ow.
it's kind of been a long time is how I'm feeling.
14 years.
Oh, well, it's definitely good
Time.
timing.
Good timing.
One of us is going to die soon, so
But you don't want that.
No.
You don't want to keep this, especially
If he
it's
does.
he. It's a he, right? Yeah. If he goes first, you're going to feel really bad. I'm just saying.
You're good. You're
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
But it will be good for you.
Aye.
It really will.
Okay.
And I feel, could you take a flight? I feel he's not right here.
No.
That's what I'm feeling. The person that you were telling me about, where there's a little rift
Yeah.
that you're feeling,
Yeah.
are they close in
Yeah.
distance?
No.
Could you go together?
He had mentioned that. Jimmy had mentioned that.
The same guy that is not in touch with.
That's right.
Right.
If you could go together, it will just make it easier for you, and it will be a better bonding experience for all of you, because it will show him that he's allowed to do what he needs to do for his soul growth too.
So now you've got me seeing in person. Whoa.
It's going to be
Which,
a
by
fun
the
trip,
way,
though. I
she
feel like
mentioned
fun.
this week that maybe you ought to see him in person, face to face. Do you remember that? I need to see him face to face.
I think it would be better.
Yeah, I did say that to you, didn't I?
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
did.
did say that.
See,
That's
she's
it.
See,
good.
that's a synchronistic.
I know she's
That's,
good.
3 times the charm type thing.
Here
It
we
is
go.
3 times.
So,
Jimmy said that. My mother said that. You just said that.
But you know why? That's
You
because
wanted to pull it out, and I said, no, I've got to do it face to face.
absolutely, and you have to, and
I don't know why this whole thing has become such a big deal lately.
because it
you
needs
need
to
it.
be
You're
undone.
requiring it.
Yes,
You're requiring
it's
it.
your
I mean, I
soul's
buried
growth.
it for 14 years.
But
Where did it get buried? In your back? Your stubborn back?
Well, maybe.
Where you're having all sorts of
Where,
issues?
where you're going for 2 hours a day, make up for
Yeah.
And you know, in all honesty, when you start to do stuff like that as a healing, that's when those things start to come to the surface too. You know,
Yeah.
that when you start messing with your body and doing things, you're asking Source for help, whether you realize it or not, and other things come out of that, which is really the real purpose, like she said. So,
Well, let me tell the audience that I found this wonderful thing at UNE. It's
Yes.
a manipulation of your back or your legs or wherever you're achy and you've got pain. You
Right.
call, you make an appointment. It's free. The students get to practice on you, and it's great. And I was just telling the ladies, I said, God, I feel wonderful, you know. I went in, but I'm going to go again next week and the week after, because they just take the tissues and put it all back. This is what they're talking about right now.
and it is.
Wow.
But you know what? It's going to fill you in a different way to take all that negativity away that you've carried for 14 years. And when you walk in that light of forgiveness and the different things that way, your body's going to feel different as well. Forgiveness is a health benefit, not just a mind.
Okay. No, you're absolutely right.
It's not me,
And I'm,
it's them.
and I'm
Yeah.
not just saying that. I mean, I'm not being condescending. I'm
No,
not
I know.
anything. It's just, you're right.
You've
Logically,
thought all this
yeah,
a million times.
Logically, I've thought this, and I know. I just,
It's because it's stubbornness.
it's stubbornness. I am stubborn. That
But it's
person
hurt
is
you.
stubborn.
But it's
Well-
hurt the both of you.
It has. We had been through a lot together.
You know, you
but
don't
you've-
have to be best friends. Once this
No.
is done, you don't have to be best friends. You don't have to be at their beck and call. You don't have to invite him over to your house.
But I feel like you want to. I do. I feel that you miss him.
Well, there's a history there.
Yes,
Growing up history.
that's right. But think of how many years you've lost of making more memories.
That was his fault.
See?
It was his fault. That was his fault.
And it's okay. But do you know what I mean? And it's,
I know what you
and
mean.
it is. But forgive him for that, because where was he in his life at that time? Have you ever stopped to think about that? What was happening in his world?
Yeah, I
How
have.
was the pressures on him for something? Because I really feel like it was something that just was like a flick of a switch that happened between you two. And you could have put the switch right back down if you communicated better. But I feel there's hurt
That's
feelings
true.
on both sides. That it was kind of a mutual thing after the event happened. Okay. So,
Because we both went silent.
Yeah, and that's not good. See, communication.
Okay, what about
I'm a
Gloria?
talker, so.
I love it.
Gloria, let me
Gloria.
Hi.
see. Hello.
Hello.
Okay,
This is fun
I know.
I love it.
because I can't do it for
I
myself.
hope you're having fun out there too.
I can't do it for me.
Definitely. Let's see. I'm seeing a green light all the way around you and purple around that, which to me, green is healing, which is no surprising that you have on a green scarf. If you start to pick out more green pieces in your wardrobe, paint colors that are green, all of a sudden it's in need of healing. And there's something in your past that you need to release and let go of as well.
A gray dress?
That, yes.
She has a gray dress.
She has a gray dress she wanted to wear today. But that, and that all ties in. That's just a piece of that. So that's all stuff that if you choose, they're asking for you to change your view on how that is and come up here and look like how I had discussed. Come up here and look what's going on there. See the compassion for that. There's been a lot of changes for those people. And that's how it will be to your benefit. So the green is a healing process and an understanding of acceptance that you didn't create that, but you're involved in that. So how can you make that better? The purple is a power color, which you are loaded with, but you need the power for the healing, is how they're giving that to me. And it's actually who I'm getting is Archangel Raphael, and he's a healer. And that's where I'm getting my information from, just so that you know who I'm speaking to from Spirit. And he's all around you trying to help you with that acceptance and those different types of things. So you wouldn't have worn that if you had the gray dress.
Exactly.
And the green is significant in there, and that's what I'm feeling and seeing, that that's part of present, but the past is making this stuff in your present not clear. Does that make sense? So part of the feelings and the emotions that you're having toward the gray dress comes from a long past of things.
Okay.
Okay? And what that long past of things is that they're telling me is more like, sorry, I get loopy when I do this in regular words. I used to fill Gloria's words in for her when she used to do readings. But I call it getting loopy, but it's your own self-worth. And that's why this is bothering you, because you have something very good here. And you're coming at it full force where it's not going to be taken. Okay? Guns are out. Okay? This isn't the place to use the guns. Okay? You don't want to be the one to end it.
Right.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Most definitely.
Okay. So put the guns away, bring the heart out, and you will see things differently. And just be that person. Be that person that doesn't care about the dress. Be that person that doesn't care about those types of things. All you care for is that is your circle now. Fill it with light.
She's absolutely right. Absolutely.
It's easier to accept something when it's somebody else, isn't it? Isn't it?
It is, but it's just in a thought process. And they're actually needing something more than you. Because if you look at it, Gloria, you already have what you need. You have everything that you've asked for. This might be a little stab that you didn't ask for and see because you didn't put your, all your details down. But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you go through and you replace that feeling with love, it will fix itself. It's
Okay.
just a little bit of timing. They need to know you more. They need to see Gloria, not the spiritual medium, which I feel that this whole process for you is to find Gloria. Who's Gloria? Who is she inside? Not all the work that you do, not all the lessons you've learned from Spirit that way. Who are you? You've been several different people along the way, which is where different relationships have come in and different things, because I don't think you are ever truthful as to what you truly wanted and asked for. And then you woke up one day and asked specifically, find my mate, and asked the way that you said that you did. And you got that. So just say thank you. And the rest will take care of itself. But this is your circle now. And it needs love. That's all that it needs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you know, the words that you said was told to me by another medium using those exact words.
Good.
So that's 2.
Okay.
Are you making phone calls again?
No, not a lot. I cheated once. We call cheating, she went to see another medium. So I said she cheated on me.
Oh, no. You know what? I believe that you should thank all the different mediums out there. And for you at home looking for mediums, there's absolutely personality things, you know, how we do our work or what we do and different ways of how we do it. And like I said, I had no idea I would work with angels and do particular things like that. They completely had a lineup for me, so trust that. But when you're looking for a medium, there's so many different great mediums out there. Go with your gut. See what feels right to you. That same energy that I said that you feel when you walk in a room, it's either going to be good or it's not. So, you know, if you walk by and they're saying it's $50 for one question, or you know what I mean, they really don't have your highest and best at heart.
No.
So just keep that in mind as to why people do what they do as a medium. But really, there's a lot of awesome ones out there that do it as a service and feel that is a blessing to hopefully change the way that you walk every day.
Well, I'd like to thank you so very much for
Thank
having
you.
been on the show today. And
Thank you.
again, thank you so very much
Yes,
for
thank
being
you. So
Right.
nice to meet
It
It was
you.
so much fun.
Yes.
I felt like I was like this.
I know.
And so I'd like to thank our audience for
Thank you.
having spent the time with us and having met with Jeanie, you know, and you would be doing very well, you know, to be calling her up.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Have a sweet day.
Bye-bye.